Hello guys, today I'm going to teach you the fifth chapter of economics, sole proprietorship. The second part, which is Hindu undivided family business, would be uploaded soon. So let us begin with this part. Now, what is the meaning of sole proprietorship? Let us study this. So, sole proprietorship means a business which is owned, financed, and controlled by one and only or single person. So, this person is called a proprietor. This single person is called a proprietor. He has the responsibility for all the losses of the business. He also gains the profits all by himself. Okay, this sole proprietorship is also called one man business. It is the simplest, the oldest, and in some respect the most natural form of business in a private sector. So it is the basic one of the private sectors. Now we are going to move on further to the examples of sole proprietorship. So a baker, a restaurant, a person who owns and manages a restaurant are examples of sole proprietorship. One more example that is very common is the grocery store somewhat nearby your house. The person who owns that grocery store is called a proprietor, and his business is known as sole proprietorship. Let us move forward to the features of sole proprietorship. There are 6 features of sole proprietorship, namely single ownership, no sharing of profits or losses, one man's capital, limited liability, less legal formalities, one man control. Now we'll study these in detail. First is single ownership. This means that the person is one and the business is there which a single person has to control, own, and direct. So, here the individual supplies total capital from his own wealth. He could even borrow the funds that he is going to invest for his business, or that could be his own wealth that he has. Second, one man control. This point is similar to the first one. The proprietor alone takes all the decisions regarding the business. Only the proprietor can take decisions for the business. He is not required to consult anyone. There is a secrecy maintained of his affairs. He has no one to stop him from taking any decisions. The ownership and management is completely in the hands of the owner of the business. He could employ some people to help him in organizing and properly, efficiently maintaining the business. Third, no legal entity. A sole proprietor has no legal identity separate from the owner. For example, a grocery store, the owner of the grocery store and the grocery store are considered to be one. They are all together. They are not considered separate in eyes of law. So, for example, if the owner of the business is not able to efficiently manage the business would not only be liable for paying the debts, but the private properties or private assets of the proprietor or the owner will also be added to fulfill the debts of the business. Fourth, unlimited liability. Unlimited liability, as suggests, the proprietor is personally liable for all the debts for the business. As I had just told you in the third point, the person, if has liabilities remaining in the business, or there are debts remaining to pay for the business, the personal properties of the proprietor or the owner of the business would be attached to the money for the debt. Fifth, no profit sharing. The sole proprietor is alone going to enjoy all the profits but has to also pay and is also responsible for all the losses of the business by himself. He bears complete risk in the business. There is no one for him to share his profit and losses. So, here, this is a positive point also and a negative point also. As he cannot share his losses, this becomes a negative point for the proprietor, and as he cannot share his profit, it is a positive point for the proprietor. Sixth point is no legal formalities. So, here, no legal formalities are to be done or are required for starting, managing, or ending a business. Yeah, one thing is that if the business proprietor dies, then the business would automatically end up. Here, there is nothing required. No legal formalities would be required for the business. Seventh, small size. As the proprietor is a single person, it could not be possible for him to get all the assets, all required funds for running his business. He is, being a single person, won't even be so efficient in doing his work and would lead to a small size. Therefore, the area of operation would be limited. Now we would go to the key points for sole proprietor. It is asset, liability, debt, and insolvent. Assets are the ones that you own. Assets are, for example, your income is your asset. These are useful and valuable things for a person. A money that you earn is asset. Whereas liability is the money that goes away from you, is your debt, your loans. These are your liabilities. There are some fixed time limits which you, according to which you have to repay these liabilities. This is just exactly similar to debt. Debt, the state of owning money. Here also, according to the formalities or some particular formalities of the debt, after a particular of time span, you would have to repay that debt. And if you are not able to repay the debt of the business, then it would turn into an insolvent or insolvency. Insolvency is the person's inability to repay or pay the debts or bills of his business. So these are the four key points of this ch- point. This is an additional informational video. If you want, you could watch it. And thank you for today. Now we would meet in our next video, which could be for merits and demerits of sole proprietorship and Hindu undivided family business. You can learn anything, keep learning and revising what you have learned in this chapter. It is a very easy chapter and you can easily learn it. If you're not able to understand it, just rewind and listen carefully to what I've explained. It is very easy, and of course, if you pay complete attention, you'll score 100 on 100 or whatever your marks are, full marks you'll get in your commerce paper. It's very easy. So just keep learning. Thank you.